down the line, how much funds, I should say, and credit, assets to that family's credit to never have to pay taxes. Suppose it's everybody in your family. How much wealth is that accumulating in your family when you're out of this side right here? It's a lot if it's everyone in your family. Suppose it was everyone on your block. I'm just saying, in your neighborhood, how much collective money could come out of your, let's say, if you had 30 people on a block, which you might hear about, 30 people on a block who are paying taxes. And if you add up the taxes that they would pay, say, in a week, that might come to, what, $10,000, $15,000? Say $15,000 a week for just the people on your block. $15,000 a week. Now suppose everybody in your block, if they were solid, took that $15,000 worth of credit, because you know it's not money, and invested it in the neighborhood. What would your community look like? You see, that's 15 grand a week going back into your neighborhood. Right? That's landscaping. That's if that fund would go into a pool that would just be used for the neighborhood only. Imagine how much you could do with that as a community. Right? Significantly, you could have your own school for your own children. And this is where we are. We are that community, even though we all don't live in the same block. We are that family, we are that community that's taking this all out right here, saying tax is non-existent, and we do for ourselves because value equals value. Right? Okay, it's our time. We're going to take a little break. We're going outside to say our prayer, and then we will come back in and we will finish this up before 11 o'clock. I promise you. You have to wait a second. Oh, I brought some extra. Take a break. Islam. As we all know, power moves in silence. Power moves in silence. We've talked about that before. Number two, the S of Islam. It runs in the blood. It's dealing with yourself. Something very interesting happened in your family years and years ago. Something you didn't know. Something happened in your family where someone in your family, long before you were born, gave their last will and tested men. Even if it was only by word on their deathbed, and they made a vow, they made a sacred covenant to come back at some point in time, that someone in their family line would correct the wrongs that were done. That someone in their family line would come back and be empowered. That someone in their family line would come to bring justice, if you will, to be the ones to balance the scale, something that they couldn't do. And therefore, you are here. This is why this is not for everyone. And so often, people cannot even hear what you're saying, no matter how logical you make it. They don't seem to get it. The light doesn't come on for them. And it cannot because no one in their bloodline, down through the past, gave a last will and testament that someone would come and vindicate the family. Imagine that your family is in chaos, that your family is losing all of its land, is losing its wealth, the government is being destroyed, the empire is falling. What do you do? when there's nothing physical that you can do. Yet there's something metaphysical you must do. And this is something, somebody said, you put it into the ether, forever, into the Akashic record. And someone in your family did that for you. And that's what brings you here at this moment in time. And this is a very glorious moment in time because the rise of the Lord is occurring through each one of us. And it cannot and will not happen unless we do it. The reason is because there is no one else in the world as close to it as we are. Now, can you imagine if you close your eyes and think of someone in your family who loved you that much to do that for you, that you wouldn't have to suffer forever at the hands of a beast? Somebody knew enough to put that in place to bring this around. Somebody knew enough about astrology to put documents in place that would trick the Avalon and keep them at a certain juncture where they could not rise and actually take our seats. Took somebody a whole lot of thought and energy to do that. Power is right. And that power moved in silence until the time was right. It moved so slowly and so unsuspectedly that the people who were rising at the time thought they had it made. It's in the bag. We've got it all now. It's just a matter of time before we can just wipe these people off the face of the earth and the whole world will be ours and nothing but our kind to rule it. Unseemingly, this power was growing. This is the story of their horror movie, of every horror story they have to tell, especially the more recent ones, Armageddon, The Last Days, Revelation. They fear all these things that are yet to come. In the last will and testament that someone put in place for you, they didn't know what you would look like. They only knew that would come through their bloodline. Okay? And they only knew that at some point in time, when the zodiac, when the planetary lineup was right, that you would find out. They didn't know how, but that it would come from inside out. They didn't know what would spark it, what would bring you to some class in some downtown Camden location. Who could know that? All of the places where this power is thought to rise, there has been a military buildup to stop it. There has been a media campaign to stop it. There has been money put out, extended over and over, and millions and billions of dollars put out to stop it. And all of the places where they thought it would come from, it's not there. It's coming from a place where nobody thought to look. From within.
Now you said that, because I am age 9, we watched all the groups they have destroyed. The Black Panthers, which means
Yes.
every group came with guns, with some kind of ammunition.
Yes.
Nobody came with love.
Right.
Nobody came with knowing who they were.
Right.
They just came. The distraction that they came with made them think it was to always come with a fight and not the head and the heart.
Right. Because they look for something physical.
Right.
And as we know, the fight has to begin on the spiritual side, which is what we did tonight. So what you have done tonight, let no man, or mankind or beast, undo. It's done forever. Number 3.